Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Red and White Show. Joining me to look ahead to this weekend's game against Mansfield Town in Sky Bet League 2, Rovers Head of Football Operations James Coppinger and Club Doncaster Media Manager Liam Hoden. Cops, it's been pretty much an ideal start to the season on the pitch, hasn't it? 6 games unbeaten, good form on the road and here, and another big one coming up this weekend. Yeah,
I think it's testament to all the work that's gone on, since the season finished last season. We've had everything thrown at us, I think, so far. We had a fantastic pre-season, again unbeaten in pre-season, a lot of minutes played, and then started the season well. The lads have hit the ground running, and we picked up some really good results.
A fair few late goals as well, which shows the character within the dressing room that was already there, but what's come in as well has certainly added to it.
Yeah, I think that comes from again the work off the training pitch, and how hard the lads have worked in pre-season. Steve and Gary have done a fantastic job in sort of making that happen. The meetings after training, before training, and we've got some senior players that have stepped up to the mark and taken responsibility and almost nurturing the younger players and showing them what's expected, not just on a Saturday or a Tuesday, but every single day.
How have you found it watching the team that yourself, Gary, Michael, the head scout, have managed to put together? How have you enjoyed sort of watching that grow from the first couple of days of pre-season?
I think initially when the season finished, again I think we had an interview and I knew what I wanted to do, or what I wanted us to do as a club, and I think not just the footballing staff, I think the staff at the stadium, I think everybody collectively is all aligned with what we want to do and what we want to achieve. So I think that was the big thing from the start. Little things off the pitch, like the changing room at the training ground, making sure that when the lads come back, it's not the same environment and it doesn't look the same. And then from the manager's perspective, making sure that from the get-go, everybody knows what and where we want to go as a group, and something you can't sort of control to an extent is the results, but the performances, the way the lads have applied themselves every single day has been absolutely first class. And it is a start. It's not, we're not getting carried away, but it's something that we're really proud of.
Liam, it's been a good start. The points total reflects that, but I think the most exciting part is that Rovers haven't really had to get out of sort of third gear just yet.
And again, some really top quality opposition as well. When the fixture list came out and you saw the start that Rovers had been dealt, you would think this is going to be a tricky one, but passed with flying colours really in terms of the results that they've got. And the as you say, the performances not anywhere near top gear. From there's so much more to come from this team, but what a start to build from.
That one at Northampton last week in particular, and Gary McSheffrey's mentioned since then how comfortable it was. I mean, 1-0 doesn't necessarily tell that tale, but anyone that was there could see that Rovers were the better team, controlled the game. It was all on their terms, wasn't it?
That's perfect summation of it, really, all on Rovers' terms, controlling the ball in the middle of the park, waiting for chances to come and working chances and really shutting the opposition out. And obviously you get a little bit of pressure towards the end of the game when you're defending a 1-0 lead, but I don't think there were many that expected that Rovers would concede on that occasion.
Being in control's been the main factor for a lot of the time. Even at Bradford on the opening game, Cops, you're down to 10 men, but the players have been put in scenarios, haven't they, throughout the summer. Gary and Steve have made a point of, right, this is what we do when we're a man down, this is what we do if the opposition are a man down, as we saw against Stockport. And that's when you rely on your more experienced players, your Claytons, Rowe, Anderson and Tomlin in particular, who has been a breath of fresh air really, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think the three you named, the four you named there are massive to any team, especially when sort of 57% of our players, our squad, 18 to 23. I think it's something that we struggled with last season through injury, through sort of not getting players on the pitch. We didn't have that base. You look all the way through from Jonathan Mitchell all the way through. We've got players that understand what it takes every single day and every single match day to be successful and to get the right results. You know what, the other lads have stepped up to the mark as well. You can see sort of George Miller, Luke's coming back. Hurst, players that I don't know, like thrive on sort of taking responsibility and stepping up to the mark, and it is just a start, but we want to continue that throughout the season.
Key thing to note as well, there are still a fair few players to come back. John Taylor's still working his way back to full fitness. You've got Aidan Barlow not too far away, of course Rio Griffiths and Ben Close maybe a couple of weeks behind, but there's still a lot of quality to add into what's already been a good start.
Yeah, and I think it's testament to the strength of the squad, to what we're trying to build. I think the big thing, obviously, the stepping level has helped us in terms of, I think in League One you don't get away with some of the things we've got away with so far this season. I think it gives us the opportunity to pick up momentum, and I think that is the big word that I tried to use at the end of last year. We didn't get any momentum whatsoever. We didn't get back-to-back wins all season. We've won 4 games and drawn 2 so far this season, and when you do pick up that momentum as a group, as a team, you can feel it. When you go into games, I think you'll probably speak and feel the same. When you're sat and watching the games, you're thinking you're going to win games, and it's the same when you're struggling. So it's important to keep that momentum going, every single day, on and off the pitch, and that's what we'll be looking to do.
Yeah, time now then for the latest quick fire round. Harrison Biggins is next in the hot seat, telling us a bit more about himself.
Harrison Biggins, 26. Sheffield. Middlewood Rovers. Sheffield Wednesday. Probably Pompey away last year. It's just gone out wide, got pulled back, and I sort of like the ones that you come onto, and stuck it in the top corner to go 3-0 up. Xabi Alonso. It's got to be Ronaldo, just because of his the way that he just looks after himself to play the game. Yeah, he's not my favourite player, but you know what I mean. Louis Coyle and Alex Cairns. There's an Italian in Blackpool that I used to go to a lot. Wouldn't mind going back there again. It's called Pulci Pizza. Probably a Chinese. Snakes, I don't like snakes. Golf. I've been watching the Stranger Things series and the Arsenal documentary. I'm not a big music fan, I'm a radio man, to be honest.
What's on in the car on the way? A bit of TalkSport?
Bit of TalkSport usually in the morning, and in the afternoon going home probably something Magic or Heart, something. Last Hangover. Portugal. I probably do what I've done before, and I was buying and selling pallets at one bit, so get back into that. Superpower. I'd like to fly, to be honest. Is that a superpower? Yeah. Football. I just used to play football everywhere I could. Probably some pace from someone. Hursty, George, bit of pace.
Liam, Harrison Biggins has been a welcome addition to the Rovers midfield, possessing maybe different qualities to the players around him, but that's certainly made a big difference in there.
Certainly has. You need that energy that Harrison provides, that battling qualities. He gets around, he gets in the opposition's faces, and he can link stuff up as well. He has been a welcome addition, as you say, and he does provide just that something a little bit different. You've got the superb quality on the ball that the likes of Adam Clayton, Tommy Rowe, Lee Tomlin bring, but having someone in there with that sort of engine is vital.
A lot of his work Cops perhaps would go unnoticed in the game in terms of what he does off the ball, but the fact he started every game shows how important he is to this team, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think last week against Northampton was probably his best game. It's difficult coming to a new club, and sort of. I think it takes 4 or 5 games before you get up to speed. I think he's no different. He does have that sort of running into the box. He'll make runs that people probably won't see. They'll see it if the lads find him. But he makes unselfish runs. He sort of closes people down, works really hard, and he's the reason why we brought him into the football club.
When you lose somebody like Matt Smith last season, who was on loan, and he was the legs, wasn't he? He was the person who pressed from the front and run all day, if you like. I suppose Harrison is that more natural fit in terms of that, but also adds a goal threat as well. Yeah,
and also has the experience, playing at Fleetwood. He did really well there, coming through there. He again is one of them that's experienced enough to step up to the mark, and he's relished the opportunity. When we met him, he was dying to come. Like you say, Yorkshire lad, big smile on his face. Every day in training, he's a breath of fresh air in terms of what he offers. So yeah, he's a fantastic acquisition, I think.
Liam, he admits there he's a Sheffield Wednesday fan growing up, and as Cop says, a Yorkshire lad. He knows what it takes, doesn't he? He knows what the South Yorkshire public expect to see from players on the pitch. Yeah, and it's everything that he stands for, that hard work, and people will back you. You have to earn that kind of that follow. You support. We know supporters turn up week in, week out, but when they really back you, that's because you've earned it, and you earn it by putting the shift in, and that's certainly what Harrison does. And he's shown that versatility as well against Salford when numbers were down, a couple of injuries in the first half. He ends up filling in at right back and marking arguably Salford's best player at the time in Asante, and he didn't put a foot wrong. That's where Cop says about the experience. He's played a fair amount of games in his career so far. He's picked that up really well, and he slotted in there superbly on that occasion. A reliable head, and that's exactly what you need. It's been a good few weeks for the Club Doncaster Sports College with exam results and the new term getting underway. College lecturer Craig Collins has been explaining just how much success has been in the pipeline for a long time. Craig, another good year for the Sports College, good results, really good feedback. Everyone at the college must be made up with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We pride ourselves on quality both in the classroom and out on the pitch as well, and we seem to prove that year on year, so we're absolutely ecstatic, not just for us but for the learners as well.
And it's a justification, isn't it, of all the hard work you put in. When those results come in, you know that it's all been very much worth it.
Oh, absolutely. We have the ups and downs of the roller coaster, not only with the football season but also in the classroom, getting people through the work and motivating them and telling them it's all going to be worth it, and seeing their, the smiles when they get the results at the end of it. It just makes it all worthwhile.
The results are great, but also the student satisfaction. When you look at that, 98% of students satisfied with the work given to them, 100% would recommend the college to a friend, and that sums it all up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think that breeds from the staff as well. We enjoy coming here to teach. We enjoy being in the classroom. We're all sports people. We try to relate the lessons to current affairs in sport, and I think the students really bounce off that, and we get a really good vibe off them when they're in there, and obviously it creates a really good learning opportunity and environment for them to thrive in.
Of course, you've got students down here today, you've got plenty of new people coming through the door as well, and I suppose it's waking up for work every day knowing that what you're doing is making a difference.
Oh yeah, massively, and things like today, to start a pre-season for them, again an added thing for them to get involved in, playing football and also studying as well, and all them little things that, as we touch on, like the trips and the educational things that we do outside of not only the classroom day to day, but yeah, it all wraps together and makes a great experience for anyone who wants to study sport, 16 to 18 year olds. So
that's for the people inside, the people studying and the people teaching like yourself, but you've also had Ofsted in who've marked the college as good with I think 4 areas as outstanding as well, and that's brilliant, isn't it, that people from the outside can see the work you're doing?
Yeah,
well.
Absolutely, and it's something that we need to probably do a little bit more about, is shout about how good we are, and what we offer on a day-to-day basis and year on year really as well. So yeah.
Is it trying to sort of adapt what you do as well and keep on improving? Because it's easy to sort of go, all right, what we're doing is good, but you always want to be better and better, don't you?
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's little things, integrating things like such as with the football academy, we started to film the games and add a bit of analysis in there. We're looking at kind of like the fitness side of things in terms of adding, sort of heart monitors and doing like that side of things. So adding the real data from the kind of elite environment into the education environment and kind of wrapping it all together, sort of thing. So yeah, we're always looking at ways to improve and offer, even better, things for our students to study.
I suppose what it does as well, it shows that you're balancing it well with the work on the grass here, but also in the classroom as well, making sure that the students know that there's more to life than just on the pitch.
Oh, 100%. And we always say, look, we're a sports college, you've got to get the classroom stuff right in order to enjoy the football side of things. If you're not doing your assignments and all that sort of stuff, you're not turning up for your maths and English, you're not going to be representing the college, you're not going to represent Doncaster Rovers or Doncaster Bells in the girls' football as well. So yeah, 100% classroom stuff first, get your attitude right, then you can enjoy the other things and enjoy the stuff with your friends playing football.
Quite a high profile student, Bobby Faulkner, graduated from the sports college this year, recently made his first league start for Rovers. Just how much motivation do you think that can give the students already here? I know not everyone can go and do what Bobby's done, but it certainly shows that there's a pathway there, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and we're absolutely ecstatic for Bobby, and we hope he strives on and does even better along the way. But we're going to get his shirt up in college, and that's something for the students to think actually he came here and he did that, and I want to do that, and give them a positive role model to look forward, and a tangible one as well. And again, Bobby did really well in his academic studies with us as well, so it just goes hand in hand really.
He's that sort of character though, isn't he? Whatever he does, he'll give it 100%. His character, you wouldn't imagine that he'll change too much, even with a few first team appearances under his belt.
Oh, absolutely. Bobby's Bobby. He'll die for the cause. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and we saw that with his studies as well. So we're absolutely made up for him.
Liam, the sports college going from strength to strength, the exam results brilliant, and great to see so many new members signing up for the new term as well.
Yeah, the stage of needing a waiting list, for new people coming on board into the college. It's something for the club to be really proud of. The success, the growth, and a fantastic Ofsted report as well. Just a couple of months ago, these results, the icing on the cake.
A familiar face, cops to all Rovers fans now. Bobby Faulkner graduated from the sports college in the summer. He's now getting starts in league games. What a few months it's been for him.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Again, going back to when he signed in the summer, having his parents here. Again, somebody that had a massive smile on his face. Just you can see how much the opportunity this club means to him and his family. So when he's making sort of starts and coming on, and he's one of these lads that'll just give 110% every single week. He didn't come through an academy, sort of had to work the hard way, and it's testament to again his sort of application and how much he wants it.
Someone at the other end of the footballing spectrum in terms of appearances, Tommy Rowe, set to make his 200th Rovers appearance against Mansfield on Saturday. Just how good has he been for this football club? Because a couple of spells now he's back with the club. And he was one of the main men when he was first here. He's one of the main men now, isn't he? He's been brilliant.
Yeah, he was a teacher's pet when he first came. Obviously, Darren brought him in. Yeah, you would never have a bad word to say about him. He sort of got a bit of stick. But yeah, that season when he came in, and sort of we were in League Two, I think, and he sort of the numbers he got in that season, I think 15, he'd say probably 20 assists. You know what you're going to get with him. I travelled to Manchester in the off-season to meet him, to sort of, tell him what sort of plans we had for this season. Getting relegated, it's not easy, and for him, I know what his standards are, and it wasn't easy for him to take. So, going there, meeting him, he bought me a coffee, which again I couldn't believe. But he's been an absolute unbelievable servant to this club, and I think he'll continue to do that. 33. Still as fit as anybody at the club, churns out performance after performance. Saw his goal against Wimbledon, and I think he'll continue to do that for some years yet.
He's such a key component, isn't he, Liam, of everything Rovers stand for, really. He's a player he's gone away and he's come back again, which shows again the family feel to the club. The fact that he wanted to come here, he admitted when he came that he had offers that were maybe more lucrative financially, but the fact that it was Doncaster Rovers was a massive pull.
That's what he spoke about. That was such a big factor for him, and such a big factor in him, recommitting his future earlier this summer. it meant a lot. The connect, it got into him. He said that during that period, Darren Ferguson were a big part of it, why he came, and why he really enjoyed his time here. But the feel of the club, it reached that same sort of levels for him. It was just as important for him, and that were a big reason why he returned after a 2-year spell away.
You obviously played with him for a long time. Have you got a memory or one that stands out for you? There's a fair few, isn't there, to choose from?
No, I think the one for me would be the Charlton game. Especially in that atmosphere at that moment, we're sort of not dead and buried, but I think we're 3-1 down, and then he steps up and scores that goal where he's just hit it, a typical Tommy Rowe goal. And again, going back to it, he's a man for big moments in my experience playing with him. But that one definitely stands out. But like you said, there's been so many, and I think fingers crossed there'll be more to come as well.
Liam, would you go along with that? Have you got any other memories of it?
It's hard not to think of that goal at Charlton and just in that atmosphere and everything around that. But even going back to last season at Wimbledon and how he dragged Rovers, level in that game, getting the 2 goals himself. But the performance, the determination there to fight to get a point from a really difficult situation, I think it just sums him up. Interesting
as well that last time Rovers played Mansfield here in the league, your corner, Rowe's header, Rovers win promotion that day. So it's funny how football can work like that.
Yeah, he spoke about that as well when I spoke to him earlier in the week in terms of what that season meant, and how much, it's funny, you talk to Tommy about what big moments stand out for him, and he mentions the 2 relegations because that's the type of character he is, and not in a bad way, but in what the adversity they presented to respond from. And he said that obviously last time they were so successful in doing that and winning promotion straight back to League One, and hopefully doing the same again. And he sees a lot of traits that will stand Rovers in good stead this season to match that feat.
It's nice to see quality around him as well now, isn't it? Sometimes last season you sort of felt sorry for him, didn't you? It was as if, you mentioned Wimbledon there, he was sort of pulling the team through on his own, and it was a bit of a one-man band at times. This season he's got quality around him, and that can only improve him even at the age of 33 coming up to 34.
Yeah, and I think it was tough for him last season, but he didn't shirk responsibility. He never shirked responsibility, which I think, that's what you want from your players. He plays game after game, he trains, he gives everything. The amount of little knocks and niggles he picked up last season but played through them. It would have been easy for him because we weren't doing well to just take it easy or not play. And this season you've seen a massive difference in terms of, like we said right at the beginning, with having senior players on the pitch, with having other players stepping up to the mark, and it's massive. I think when you see him round at the training ground, he's got a big smile on his face. He loves coming into work. He loves influencing, helping other people. And you say, I genuinely feel like it'll be sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 years before he hangs up them boots, I think.
He's the club captain now as well. Is he the perfect man to, I suppose, relay messages that maybe whether they come from you, whether they come from the manager, in terms of getting messages across to the boys, and the other way around as well? If the players have got anything they want to put to you or Gary, then he's the perfect sort of middleman.
Yeah, I always wondered, the difference between team captain and club captain, and there's a huge difference. I think Adam Clayton, where he is on the pitch, how vocal he is, how much of an organiser he is, I think he's perfectly placed for that role. But I also think Tommy Rowe is perfectly placed for club captain. As a person, like all the things, he leads by example. He loves that responsibility of organising off the pitch. So yeah, he's relishing that role, and it's something that we've looked into as a club, giving him that extra responsibility. He's in meetings, and yeah, I think it'll be a really good one for him this season.
Mansfield the next test then, Liam, a team who've started a bit in and out. They've won 3 and lost 3, yet to win on the road. Rovers, of course, sitting 3rd at the minute. It makes for good reading, doesn't it, the league table, but got to carry that on this weekend.
Yeah, it's another tough one. We know Mansfield are going to, you would expect, click at some point. We saw last season they had a bad start, and then what they managed to go on and achieve in that second half of the campaign. It's going to be tough. Rovers got to just continue that momentum, a bit. But as we've said, you go into games now not like thinking that you're going to win, and again with this one, taking advantage of any sort of slow start that Mansfield have had, you can back Rovers to do that all the way.
We haven't seen the biggest of away followings in the last couple of games, of course. Newcastle under 21s and Salford, the North Stand not even in operation. You expect upwards of 3,000 Mansfield fans this weekend, and it makes for a brilliant atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what you're going to get from the team first and foremost under Nigel Clough, and then at the same time when there's an atmosphere, when they bring a travelling support like we saw against Stockport, it adds that extra I don't know, that fire to the game. I think, you know, straight away when the lads walk onto the pitch, you know you're in a game, and it'll be a tough one. You know, we spoke about momentum and how well we're doing, but it's so important to make sure that, you know, we continue what we're doing, we don't get carried away, we don't get complacent. And I genuinely feel like we've got the players that aren't going to do that. You know, we've got the experience in and around the dressing room that won't let these younger players get ahead of themselves. You know, Hursty scored 2 the other day, and you know he's brought back down to life. You know, in training, and the lads are taking the mick out of him. They won't let him get carried away at all.
Have you got a score prediction for us for the weekend? Do you want to?
No, I don't really want to give you one, if I'm honest.
Just a win. Liam, what about you?
I'll go for 2-0.
Liam, Cops, thank you for your company. Thank you as always at home for watching on as well. Get down to the Eco Power this weekend. It's another massive game in Sky Bet League 2 as Rovers take on Mansfield.